Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. What does a mediocre outdoorsman,
3-shooting Cajun,
and an actual outdoorsman
have to say about what's going on in the world? Join us and find out.
in 3, 2,
kick it!
Welcome back to Hardheaded, episode number 170. 170. I'm your host, Chet Sears. With me, as always, is Matt Amos and Troy Trussell. Today, we're going to talk about the top 3 things that we would make a good living off of being a salesman. So we'd make... This was kind of tough for me.
It was tough for me, too. I didn't know what y'all were thinking about.
Well, I mean, if you had
or-
a different career of selling, if you were just a salesman, what are the things that you could sell? Top 3 things you would sell to make a really good living.
I've sold some stuff in my life.
Yeah.
And
Did you make a really good living?
no,
Okay. Well, then don't have those on your top 3.
didn't put those on my list.
Okay, and we're gonna hear what's on Troy's mind. Matt's gonna give us a good word at
Sure.
the end of the episode. Troy, what's on your mind?
All right. So back in 2008 is when I came to know Jesus and decided to follow Jesus. Through that transformation, he kind of freed me up of some sin in my life. Drinking, I smoked. Was able to give that up really quick.
which one?
All of them.
Oh, nice.
And my dad would even tell you that smoking was one of the hardest things
He's literally said the hardest thing he's ever done in his life was give up
was
cigarettes.
to give up cigarettes. Yeah, it was easy for me.
Yeah.
Porn, had an addiction to porn, was able to give that up pretty easily.
Yeah.
The only thing that stuck around was was alcohol. Kind of crept back in, and I've recently hadn't had a drink since August 17th of 22. So that's fantastic.
Sweet.
But I bring that up just because I've noticed later in my life that people, especially men, struggle with an addiction to porn. And sometimes, just like alcohol, I was delivered from everything else except alcohol crept back in my life. Well, I've run into some people where they've been delivered from everything, but porn kind of keeps creeping back into their life. And so that got me thinking, and I just started doing a little research because with technology, everything is getting a lot easier to look at this stuff and to find it from when I was a kid. And also thinking about it because I got 4 boys, my oldest boy being 11, and they're going to grow up in this age where it's really easy to access pornography in video format, just on their phone, and the easiest way they can get it.
In your pocket. Yep.
And so I was like, is anything being done about this? And so I came across an article to where there actually is a fight against it. And I knew there was a fight against it. I just didn't know to what level of fight there is going on about it. And so I came across this article, and on June 15th, 2022, a freshman legislator in the Louisiana House of Representatives, which I was kind of proud that it was from Louisiana, but this lady, she proposed a law that is changing the online porn industry. And the law states that they have to, for somebody to log in and be on the platform, they have to show proof of age. So they have to upload their ID. If they're 18 or older, then they can access the site.
I think Utah's doing this too.
Utah and Louisiana are the 2 that have passed the law so far. There are other states that have it proposed. Arkansas, Montana, Mississippi, Utah, Virginia, and Texas have nearly identical bills that Louisiana had that have passed. Yeah. And so where they have it in legislation, the porn where it's not actually passed yet, but they're trying to pass it. Pornhub has taken down access to the whole state.
Where if you're coming from an IP address inside the state,
right,
you can't get it.
You can't get it, but they have a little screen that pops up from one of their porn stars that's basically telling them like, "Hey, we're trying to fight this. If you want access, please go talk to your political people in your state, so that we can get it."
Could you imagine? What'd you do today? I had to call my congressman to petition to allow porn on my computer. Right. Like, what'd you do with your day today?
So it's this video of
that's getting in the arena.
This porn star.
Yeah, not what I'm talking about.
That's right. Well, yeah. So just reading through this article, it was encouraging to hear that they're coming up with ways and a solution to try to put a stop to at least minors being able to access this so easy. Because who's to stop? You know, some of my kids' friends are 10 years old and they have a phone already. Who's to stop them if they got an older brother or if they've just heard about it to download it and start watching this stuff? If their parents not really guarding their phone or watching it, they're going to see it. And then my kid's going to see it, right?
Well,
so these laws need to be put in place for that not to happen.
You're going to find in some cases their parents don't care.
Well, totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the article said, you know, back when we were kids. Sorry, my voice is losing itself. You know, we'd have the Playboy magazine that some kid's dad left under his mattress, and we all found it.
They controlled it at point of sale, so you'd have to steal it or have somebody give it to you. You couldn't just go get it on your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just making that point of sale basically to where you have to upload your ID to see it, which I think is fantastic. Are younger kids going to see it? Yeah, they're going to.
Yeah.
I mean, are there still going to be dark websites that they can go find it? Yes. But if we can put systems in place to make it harder for them to do that, we'll be better off.
Yeah, the kind of like back in the day, if you wanted to go get a magazine, you found a way, whether steal it, look for it, whatever.
Yeah.
But you had to put in so much effort to do it. And now you could accidentally come across this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think one of the more damaging things about porn in general is based on what I've read, and if you look at the history of some of the folks that are just really sick and twisted with you get into, you know, child pornography and all this other kind of stuff, it starts like it's one of these things that progresses. So it doesn't it's not a flat line thing. It's like an exponentially gets worse because you get to the point where the initial thing that got you in doesn't satisfy you anymore. So then you got to go to the next thing, and you go to the next thing. Next you know, you're in a horrible, horrible place.
Yeah. It's like the article mentions how there's some young men growing up that have grown up watching porn their whole life, get a partner and can't perform, can't get erect and do the deed. But if they go watch a video, it triggers something in their mind to where they can get aroused just by watching the video. But when a female is right there in front of them, they can't do anything about it.
Dude, that's messed up.
That's how sick and twisted it's
it messes with your psychology. Like your brain doesn't function like it's supposed to function.
Well, you explain it like too. It's like a gateway.
Yeah,
gateway drug. I mean, you got to keep. You know, hey man, that first hit. You know, it's just not doing it anymore. I got to have. You know, I got to do more.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the law in Louisiana, you know, basically talked about how pornography impacts the brain development and functioning of minors, and it contributes to emotional and medical illnesses. Yeah, so it just goes on and on. But I mean, they say, would they change the age of being on your parents' medical insurance to 26 because your brain is not fully developed until
they're just trying to.
I know that was their reasoning behind it. Well, raise the age to porn to 26. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, they've already. What is it? Is smoking 21 now? Right.
I don't know that.
I think it's 21 to smoke. 21. I think.
I don't know. I know it's 21 to drink, but that sounds right. I think I've heard that before, but can't speak to it.
They're so concerned about lung health with smoking and vaping, but they're not concerned about the mental health because they just allow that access. And there's a fine line with, because I've done my fair share of traveling, and governments have the ability to shut off your access to Google,
anything,
right? So I understand that we don't want our government to shut off access to like news, which they tried to do through social media during the COVID era. But I mean, could we agree that we want the government to shut off? Because right now they're putting the onus on like the porn website to require this, where at some point the government could just make it where you can't get to it.
Yeah.
That will never happen.
Because there's too many evil people in Washington.
Right. That's why it would never happen. But and that's also part of a larger debate, I guess, because you can't legislate morality, I don't think.
Well,
and so I think if you limit it to you limit access to minors, I think that's fantastic. But it makes the same debate as firearms. It makes the same debate as anything else. And while I would be all for eliminating it, I'm not for eliminating fire. So that's to me, it's part of a wider discussion that.
Well, when people were asked,
there's no redeeming value in porn. You could use a gun in self-defense.
Right, but that's our argument, right? That would not be their argument.
Yeah,
they would say that it reduces STDs because you're not going out and whatever. I mean, so there's so many arguments that can be one side or the other. You know what I mean?
I'm agreeing with you that it's complex, but I'm not agreeing with you that you can't legislate it.
You can't legislate morality. You can't make people be moral. A person has to decide to be moral.
Right. And what we're talking about is not necessarily a moral issue on the grounds that you've got a 12-year-old boy in your house, or 12-year-old boy that lives in your house, and he's over at a friend's house, and they get their older brother's phone out, start scrolling through all their stuff.
Right.
Like, so you're not that I would not say the 12-year-old boy in this case is not an amoral, like they're a horrible person that's evil.
But that's why I put the caveat in there is I think it's great for having IDs or whatever to access, but I don't think once you hit that, whatever that standard would be.
Oh, it's not perfect from there.
To legislate it further.
I think this is one of those things where there's never going to be a silver bullet. It's going to be can we improve it?
But I think that falls on us, if people are having those issues to lead them,
talk about it,
lead them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that's a closeted, no pun intended, subject.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because it's, I can tell you right now, it's huge in the Marine Corps.
So, an uncomfortable question that I started asking my son about your oldest son's age at a frequent enough basis that it's in the back of his mind when there's an opportunity. I know my dad's going to ask me this question. Have you ever seen a picture of a naked lady?
Oh, I've already started that with Noah. Yeah.
And like, what? When you catch them young, what are you talking about? I'm just asking you right now. You ever, been on somebody's, been over at somebody's house and seen pictures? What? No. Like, and then 6 months later, hey, no. And so that there would be a time when they know you got that opportunity. Oh, come over here and look at this. Man, my dad's I'm due a question from my dad, and I don't want he's going to know I'm lying. So I'm not going to go look at that, Yeah.
That's good.
That's you got to be active. And that's the thing in this case. I think this is where parenting and governing should partner together. Governing cannot stop it all. But if you up your parenting with the government's support and limiting access to it, then we could do a whole lot better job than what's been available in the internet age.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how it can just randomly find you.
Dude, I'm shocked.
So like and I think I had this talk with you back when you were working at People's, and I would open Instagram and I'd go to the search thing.
Yeah.
And then there just randomly would just be a chick with
It's like,
barely any clothes on.
For me, it'd be like airplanes, duck hunting. What is that doing there?
Right.
Like just
So
there's like one random.
Well, Hannah was showing me like in her Pinterest board one
Yeah.
time. This was like 6 years ago. Hey, we want to change the room to this, and it's like all like remodeling stuff. And then it was like boom, 2 dudes. And I was just like, "What is that? What are you?"
Yeah.
She's like, "I don't know where that came from."
Let's put that on the wall.
Right. It's like good.
But
grief.
I know they have algorithms that help support all that kind of stuff. But I think they also look at algorithms like this is a dude.
At this age range.
And so we're going to try to just every now and then just slide something in.
It's like
and-
the
and
devil
hope it
saying,
sticks.
"Come on here, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy, click on me.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just an innocent little picture. Click on me."
It's crazy, man.
Come on, click on me.
So there's this.
It's terrible that I know exactly.
Family Guy. The old man in the basement.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Chris?
Come here, Chris.
We're horrible.
Oh man.
I'm not even going to. Let's move on.
gonna
Let's
beat
move
you.
on.
All right, what's next?
We're going to take. Sorry, folks. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the top 3 products that we would make a good living selling.
At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back. Top 3 products you would make a good living selling. Matt. Ooh, look at that. Refreshing. That's a refreshing sound. Matt, what you got, man?
Number 3, rifles.
Oh, hold on. Rifles, shotguns, and pistols. That's your top 3.
No,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
no. I should say firearms, but I'm really, and this will come into play like kind of in my number 1. But we'll say rifles.
I told you they're not that great. Drinking a peach drink here.
Is it fizzy?
It's Clear American. It has 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 caffeine, 0 sodium. It's peach flavor, and it tastes like you peeled a peach and you just ate the peelings.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
So it's fuzzy.
It's fuzzy. It's
Got a little fuzzy feel to it.
a little bitterness. Anyway,
It's probably the mold.
rifles.
Number 2, prosthetics.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I would be a
Yep.
really good Autobach rep.
Yeah. Autobach is a manufacturer of prosthetic pieces like knees.
And the
ankles.
reason that I would be good at number 2 is there's a lot of people that look at it from this is what I use, so this is what I think everybody should use. And that's not necessarily the right thing when it comes to prosthetics because what fits me may not work for you as well.
Yeah. And you know that.
And so I've tried everything.
Yeah.
And I know what works for me, but I also have pointers of what might work for somebody
And you
else.
have a vast network of other people who have tried things as well and know that some things work for them.
Right. So that's why I think I'd be really good at just peddling prosthetics. And then number 1 is a combination of number 3 and number 2, but it's literally anything that I am passionate about.
As copping out.
So, but there's an explanation. So, I've looked at becoming, like a real estate agent or selling cars or, or rifles for that matter.
Let me tell you right here.
But here's where let me finish.
I'll let you finish.
So I'd be really good, and especially if I'm passionate about it, I can sell it, and I can get somebody fired up enough to want to buy it. It's super easy for me to do that when I'm passionate about it. But the second that I stop believing in that product, I'd be done. And so I don't know that I would keep that job long enough, because there's a lot of things that happen where, let's say version 1 was spectacular and it's the latest and greatest thing that I've ever seen. And I'm selling for this company, and all of a sudden manufacturer B comes out with something that's just stupid incredible. And well, I can't promote this with the same passion that I did before, because now I believe in that product better. So so it's not, it wouldn't be brand loyalty. It would be product loyalty to whatever I felt was best at the time.
Let me tell you the problem with some of those things that you mentioned, like real estate.
I think his number one would have been better if he'd have just said beard oil.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Selling involves people, and you don't like people. So let me tell you a little bit on the real estate side. You have to deal with so many people, and then you have to deal with banks.
Real estate was an example.
Yeah.
I don't think that
was not one of them.
Now, if it was land, just selling strictly land, hunting properties, and something that I could get really behind, and actually I've been approached about that before.
Yeah.
But it's still the same thing. It's like, well, no, because I sold metal buildings at one point, and dealing with the customer is always fun in the selling process.
Yeah.
And then you get to the build phase, and then it's like, well, this and this and this. And it's like, well, this is right here. This is what you agreed to. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You signed right here, bud. This is your architect look over this, and this is, you guys signed off on it. I don't know what, so then you're dealing with that. And it's not for me.
All right, I'll go.
Do it.
Hit it.
Number 3, guns in general. And I would probably be more successful with the brands that I'm passionate about, but I also see on the prosthetic side, even if this one isn't the best one for me, I can still sell you a gun.
Well, and a lot of that comes down to price points too for some people.
Yep, and functionality and whether or not they're going to use it.
Your good, better, best setup.
So that would be that one. Number 2, gear in general. So any outdoor gear. So if you're thinking waders, fishing lures, rods, reels, camo, pullovers, waterproof this, blind bags that, well, I can sell it. I got no problem selling it. I can do good at it. If there was a role like you had to do that, which there really isn't. Now you just shop online. Number 1.
That's trade shows.
Yeah, I could do a good job. I've worked a few trade shows, by the way, for Cabela's and for Hardheaded. Or no, our show before Hardheaded, the TV show that we had. Did some radio spots.
It's what spawned Hardheaded. Was that show. Business to business, B2B, business to business selling. So. In this particularly HVAC, so selling from a manufacturer to a distributor. I had a guy tell me this. I was in the quality world of manufacturing this for a long time, and I was routinely called in. We have a distributor that's ready to leave, and we need some help explaining why they need to stay. Fly out, sit down, have a meeting. They'd yell, scream, cuss, all the stuff. Be honest, open, transparent, talk about our plans, our product, how we compare to the competition, why we're going to be better, what we can do from a warranty perspective. Walk away with them, not just staying, but buying more. And to the point where one of the better salesmen that we ever had said, just so you know, you're the best salesman we got. Except I wasn't on commission like they were. And they were getting the money from all the good stuff that I was doing. So then they would reap the benefit, and then word got out, so everybody would then have me come out and do all the selling business for that. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. I like the high pressure, on the brink of, leaving and going to a different brand
And then I had an immense amount of control over the quality of the product. So to be able to invest in the quality, know what it's doing, and then turn around and go benefit from that,
This is why.
that would have been pretty awesome. Yep.
Because you believe in it.
Yeah, I'm almost selling myself in that
Right.
case.
And that's kind of what I was getting
Yeah.
at. Yeah.
All right, Troy.
I would say videos, but I already do that, so I'd have left that off the list.
Yeah. Videos.
Well, the reason that
Hard-
you left it
hard
off is
muscling
because
down
it's
there.
products you'd make a good living.
Hey, I make a pretty good living.
He's doing great.
I mean, just teach us the class then.
There you go, man. Ooh.
Number 3, Tupperware. I use a lot of it, and I could sell it better than Uncle Rico.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Driving over it with his camper and then just take it off.
That was Kip. Oh, man.
He didn't make a good living.
No, he did
He
not.
lived in a van.
Hey, to some, that's a great living.
Hey,
That's true.
There's a
Down
lot
by
of
the
people
river.
that have sold everything, got a van, and that's what they live in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's typically a Mercedes, not a Dodge.
I've seen it always, sometimes VW.
Number 2, fidgets.
The fidget spinners?
Just any kind of fidget.
Is that
I don't know
what
what you're talking-
what
what's a
they're
fidget?
called?
They're just like these plastic things, popper
Okay.
things, fidgets, fidget spinners, fidgets. Just put me in front of a elementary school,
You be
sell them all day long.
dollar a piece.
Just peddling fidgets.
And number
hey,
1.
hey, kid, come over here. I got some fidgets.
That's right. Hold the coat open. Yeah. Number
It
1,
goes along with your what's on your mind.
Yeah.
candles.
What kind of candles?
Scented candles.
What's your demographic there? Man candles?
Nope, just candles.
Okay.
My daughter sold some this past year.
Or you sold them for her?
No, she did all the work. She made them all.
Yeah.
Hannah helped her get going, but then she ran with it and did it and called it Cup of Candle. Sold them in
Little mason jars?
no, you know those punch bowl sets? You have your punch bowl and then they come with those little cups.
Yeah.
And there's like thousands of them.
Okay.
Well, Hannah found, she just went to like different garage sales and estate sales and found a ton of them.
Yeah.
I think she had like 200 of them.
Oh, my gosh.
And so she sold them in that and called it Cup of Candle. And she sold out before their little school show thing was
Yeah.
over. And she had to go home and make some, she like took orders after that and had to make orders and everything. And
Wow.
so I think she's going to start up a business this summer.
Go do it.
So we're going to actually do this.
Get some.
Make candles.
I love it.
Yeah,
Entrepreneurial.
that's right.
All right. That was fun.
Cup of noodles. Cup of candle. It's a good photo.
Ooh,
It's a good photo
Ooh.
opportunity for business. Just saying.
like it.
And what if you could put a cup of noodles over your cup of candle to cook your cup of noodles?
Yes.
Huh?
Buy the special like apparatus
Or
that
just
goes over it.
different sizes or something.
Yeah.
I'm onto something. I'll give you that for free.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna charge you that for
All right.
that idea. All right, Matt, you got a good word for us?
I do.
Wonderful.
I do. And today, the good word is going to come out 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18, which says, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Now, we always think of, giving thanks when something good happens. And we're not always good at giving thanks when things aren't going that well. And it's it's kind of funny the pray continually, because I find myself actually doing that all the time, almost to the point I think it's almost not necessarily inappropriate, but I think about things at the weirdest time. So I might be taking a shower, I might be on the toilet, I might be doing whatever, but I just stop and I think about something, and I'm like, I'm like, thanks, Lord. And just to have a really quick conversation. I don't know that there's necessarily a bad time to do that, but it's just,
Yeah.
I think I slow down at just the oddest times and think about those things, whether it's I'm driving or whatever it is. And I mean, there's a lot of people that know that my daughter was in a car accident and, ended up with a decent concussion. But that was it, after a collision with a semi, and so, we were super thankful that that's all that was. But it got me to thinking, it's like, well, obviously that's the time to be thankful, but I got to check myself. Am I thankful all the time? And I don't know, I think kind of the situation that I'm in, I've been to combat, lost my legs, whatever, but I think I've made it past the point where I would be upset about that, which I never really was. I've always been thankful for the opportunity to still be here.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of fulfills what that's talking about. And so I always try to focus and live my life in a way where, because I am thankful, because I'm on borrowed time more than twice, 3 times over, So I'm just thankful every day. And I want to impart on people, don't wait until you're like me, because you may not get that chance. And again, I still don't, I told my daughter the same thing. I was like, and not, I guess not just me, but everybody that we've talked to, like we went to the ER and got her checked out. And then, when we went to get the stuff out of her car from the tow yard, the tow truck guy, every one of them mentioned to her, somebody up high has a plan for you.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason you're still here, because
You shouldn't be.
the tow truck guy says, I don't see many people that have been in a collision with the semi that are still here. And he goes, I clean up a lot of wrecks.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the same thing, but don't wait for that moment to be thankful. Be thankful beforehand and really try to pursue those reasons why you're thankful. And then for me, always living thankful and trying to figure out exactly why God still has me here.
Yeah.
So anyway, thankful.
Love it, man. That's great.
Good stuff.
Appreciate you. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.